What is up, guys? Dragonball Black here, and today I wanted to come to you guys with a video talking about Piccolo's power level in Dragon Ball Super. So first of all, I wanted to go ahead and get right off the bat. When I talk about power levels, I'm not talking about the old, I guess at this point it would be kind of antiquated power levels from Scouters, like, what's his power level? It's over 9,000. Nothing like that. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking power levels. I just mean how strong the character is, and at a certain point. And normally I use sort of references, and I'm real big on seeing is believing, or at least if they hinted at it or mentioned it, that's usually not ironclad, but that kind of implies certain things when it comes to power levels. And I wanted to go ahead and make one of these videos for each of the Z fighters right before the tournament comes out. Each of the Z fighters that are going to be going into this tournament, I wanted to go ahead and make this video for them. I already have one for Gohan where I already told you his power level. You guys can go ahead and try to check it out at the end of this video. It should be, or actually, never mind, I made another video. It's going to be in my uploads. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. But those are just my thoughts, okay? Everyone's going to have their own different thinking behind what each character's strengths are. This is mine, and this is just some other stuff I have it to back it up a little bit. But you guys can go ahead and decide for yourselves. Ultimately, you guys know what you guys want to believe, basically. And so I have one for Gohan. I have one for legendary Super Saiyan female Broly, which we don't even know her name. And that one was more of a, it wasn't really focused on what her power level, well, I guess it was kind of focused on what her power level was, but we have really no hard evidence, so it was all kind of theorizing and discussing kind of. This is more showcasing what I believe from what we've seen so far. So getting to the heart of the matter, Piccolo. And Piccolo is by far one of my most favorite characters. I think everyone has a friend that kind of or a friend or a family member that kind of reminds them of Piccolo, in a sense. So to me, I did, and that's why I really enjoyed Piccolo. I loved every bit of him that we've had so far in this series, and he's just a phenomenal character in my opinion. Except how they used him in GT. I didn't like how they screwed him over in GT a little bit by trapping him in hell. But anyway. That's digressing. Let's go ahead and jump into Super. What is Piccolo's power level at Super? Well, I'm going to say it off the bat, then I'm going to tell you exactly why I think this. So I think that Piccolo's power level at Super is around Android 17's power level. And I would actually put it slightly above Android 17, probably closer to Imperfect Cell now that I'm looking at all the facts, looking at everything. Probably around Imperfect Cell, or semi-Imperfect Cell, I'm sorry. The one with the lips and no wings, that cell, and then Android 17, probably around that area. And let me go ahead and tell you exactly why I think this. Well, I'm gonna make a video later on about talking about training versus transformations and how much of a Zenkai boost or an energy boost or a power level boost those things can give you. But essentially, I'm gonna touch a little bit on it here. I don't think that training, just from what we've seen in the show, training your ass off will garner you such an immense amount of a Zenkai boost. I don't think that, except for one exception. There's only one exception to this, in my opinion, and that is the hyperbolic time chamber, the room of space and time. I feel like this room itself is an exception because it focuses itself on being the ultimate training ground. Essentially, it gives you everything that you want. It lets you fight in any environment, any type of training that you want to do. So somebody trapped in, say, a training battleground for an entire year or so, depending how long you're going to be in there, yeah, you're going to get a significant amount, a good chunk of a Zenkai boost from that. Vegeta training every day in the gravity room, while it will, give him some sort of, a small amount of Zenkai boost, I don't think it'll give him that much. Seeing as how he's already he's got transformations that'll blow away whatever whatever gravity really he's in. He's got the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, so he doesn't train with that. He normally trains with his normal state. While when he's training, when he's training, say, with Whis or with basically with Whis and Goku, he's not only is he training with Goku, but he's also training with Whis, who's trying to focus their power and focus their reaction time and essentially have them master their Super Saiyan Blue transformation essentially, and give them that sort of boost. And that's okay. That boost will give you a decent amount. And even just to push this whole training thing, in the Dragon Ball Super episode, when they go back into the hyperbolic time chamber before they go to see, well, I think Vegeta goes in the hyperbolic time chamber, and Goku, before they go to see Goku Black, they say that they've done so much training that there really is no more need for training. It'll have minimal effect. It'll have the effects of the training won't be that much. They won't get that much of an increase in their fighting power. And so what really comes down to it is, I think that when it comes to training all your life, it just basically hones in your skills. It does give you a Zenkai boost depending on what kind of training it is. Essentially though, if it's just like the training that I've seen Piccolo do, I haven't seen him do anything that's spectacular in my opinion, but the training that Piccolo does, it's going to give you a minimal Zenkai boost, but it also increase your it'll increase your potential, it'll increase your experience, and it'll hone your strategic skills. So fighting someone again like Piccolo, even if you're say a character that's stronger than Piccolo, it'll still be kind of difficult because Piccolo is a seasoned fighter and all his reaction times and all his moves are going to be perfect. Basically, he's going to be perfect at the craft of fighting. Essentially, that's what training does. So let's go back to Piccolo during the Cell Saga. Piccolo, well, actually, let's go back even further than that. Go to Piccolo during the Frieza Saga. Trains with King Kai. Even he states at some point that he doesn't have enough power. He doesn't know if he's got enough power to make a difference, but he'll try. He goes to Planet Namek. He only really makes the difference when he fuses with Nail. Once he fuses with Nail, it's basically a new transformation. It's Nail and Piccolo together, fused together, a new state, and then he fights, and he's able to even surpass Vegeta, who biologically, being on the closest verge of death, I think at that point twice or three times, and getting those huge Zenkai boosts from that, he still wasn't a match for Frieza's second form. So, but Piccolo was. So with the transformation, Piccolo really went above and beyond when it came to fusion, when he fused with Nail. Again, the same thing happened in the Android Saga. He fought against the androids. He wasn't even close to, even wearing them down. He's not close to anywhere near Super Saiyan. I would put Android 18 right above Super Saiyan level. I would put 17 a couple steps ahead of that. So because as you guys know, they get more powerful as the numbers keep going down. So he wasn't that powerful, but then he fused with Kami, and he was on the same as 17, a little bit above 17, and a little bit above 17 was the first time he met Imperfect Cell. We all know he got completely demolished once Imperfect Cell was able to absorb many cities and everything like that. So he got demolished after that. But at that point, I feel like that's the last real transformation that Piccolo has gotten. And so people are saying, because I've been having conversations with certain people either on on the Amino app or on here on other people's YouTube videos who are talking about Piccolo's power levels. They've stated that because Piccolo was fighting because they were all fighting the Cell Juniors, and only Piccolo, Vegeta, and Trunks were the last ones standing while Gohan turned into Super Saiyan 2, that implies that he's basically on their level. He also went back into the hyperbolic time chamber, and Trunks and Goku said that he's gotten a lot stronger. That is all. There's no real. I mean, there is value to it, but there's no real specifics to it. You've gotten a lot stronger. I mean, what is that? A lot. Are you trying to make me feel good? Are you trying to tell me the truth? Are you trying to make me feel better because Cell is way stronger than that? That you knew at that point Cell was way stronger than that. Well, telling him Piccolo that is just kind of being like, yeah, you got a lot stronger. Kind of. It almost seemed like it just seemed insincere for the threat they were gonna face. I mean, if Piccolo was on the same level as Cell, then they'd be like, whoa, holy shit. And then when it came to fighting the Cell Juniors, there could be a number of factors why Piccolo was one of the ones standing. I mean, if you really look at it, a couple other Z fighters were standing as well up until Yamcha got. I think Yamcha got. It looked like he got his arm broken. Krillin was on the ground. Even Goku was on the ground, but Goku had already been kind of defeated from fighting Cell. So there could be a number of factors why he was one of the last ones standing, but that to me doesn't imply that he's on the same level as say Super Vegeta or Super Trunks. even close to Super Saiyan 2. He just implies that he was able to hold his own. Again, he trains every single day. He's a competent fighter. He might not have been fighting that many Cell Juniors. He might have been fighting a weaker Cell Junior because Cell had to divide his power into the Cell Juniors to create them and send them out. I mean, that just, when it comes to math, that just makes sense. You can't just give them something out of nothing. You can't give them energies out of nothing. They obviously had to come from him. And then when it came to the Buu Saga, he never actually fought anybody. He went after Deborah a little bit, but it wasn't nothing. He got turned to stone right away, which honestly, if he would have been training as much as people say he had, then he would have been able to dodge the spit, not knowing what it is. He doesn't want to get spit by a demon, He should have been able to stop that, honestly, in my opinion. So he hadn't trained throughout the Buu Saga. And then when we come to this, the Dragon Ball Super, not only does he get bested by some of the guys from Frieza's crew, which debatably people are saying they're saying like these guys are on like Super Saiyan 2 levels and all this stuff, because of Gohan. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that, honestly. But the real kicker is people are saying that because of the fact that he fought Frost and he was kind of able to hold his own against Frost a little bit, and then Frost kind of completely destroyed him. Well, I wouldn't put Frost on the same level as Frieza. Not a chance. Even Frieza on Namek, I wouldn't put him on the same level. I put him a lot weaker. Even though Vegeta's had Zenkai boosts, huge Zenkai boosts, even in Super Saiyan form, he was able to knock out Frost in one punch. Like, no, there's no way. He's not even close to being that. So for Piccolo to take that long against Frost, yeah, it's pretty good. And then we have him fighting Gohan. Or not fighting Gohan, training Gohan, and people are saying, well, Gohan's Mystic Gohan, and now he's training with Piccolo, so of course Piccolo's gonna be stronger. I mean, he could have gone a little bit stronger, but from what I've seen, Gohan stated a couple times in the latest episodes that he doesn't train that much. In the new leak, he stated that it states that he's nervous or anxious about even participating in the tournament. That just, to me, shows that he's unsure of himself still, because he probably doesn't have that much training with at all, really. And the training sessions with Piccolo are probably few and far between. And if you can easily go into the Ultimate Gohan or the Mystic Gohan state, which, I mean, it's not really technically a transformation, it's just, it seems more of a state, then he would have been able to do that instead of going to Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 when fighting the Wadagash in those filler episodes. So that's just what I'm saying. I think at the beginning of this tournament, I would give the verdict that Piccolo is at imperfect Cell levels, around there, maybe a little bit stronger. His skills are more honed in. I don't think that he's gotten like huge amounts of Zenkai boost. Not only is he not a Saiyan, so it doesn't matter if he got beaten to an inch of his life and then brought back. He doesn't get Zenkai boost like that. He's not a Saiyan. It'd be amazing if he was, and he'd be just like Cell, kind of, getting, he could just, cut off his arm, made himself bleed to death, and then, or almost to death, and then come back. But he's not a Saiyan. He doesn't get Super Senkai boost like that. He hasn't had a significant transformation. And again, I argue against how much of a Zenkai boost training will get you alone. And as you know, the characters Dragon Ball Super are already kind of overpowered. I mean, we got the Gods of Destruction, we got the Angels, we got Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan God. Like, we got Hit, who, I'm gonna go ahead and go on to his power level at some point here in the future too. So anyway, guys, that's my video. Let me know in the comment section below, as you will, what you guys think Piccolo's power level is. Again, these are just my thoughts. I know if you guys have completely different thoughts, try to keep it civil. Put it in the comment section below. Let me know exactly what you think his power level is at and why, and then I'll try to give you my intake on that as time goes on and everything. So also drop me a like if you like my channel. I know a lot of people are not going to all agree with the video, but just hit me a like. It really helps out my channel a lot. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.